How do? My name is Andrew Hancock and I am a VMware technical architect from Yorkshire in the United Kingdom. I have worked with VMware since their birth in 1998, so that's been a quarter of a century now. I've been working with the VMware product catalogue. Some of my close friends say if you cut Andy in half, it reads VMware like a stick of rock from Blackpool Pleasure Beach. I have now written over 130 articles and recorded over 30 hours of VMware vSphere 7 and 8 videos for Experts Exchange, and received 40 Expert Exchange awards over the last 11 years working with the Expert Exchange community. I am currently the overall #1 point earner in the Hall of Fame. I am honoured to have been accepted into the VMware vExpert program since 2011, and I'm currently a VMware vExpert Pro for the last 4 years. Welcome to Hancock's VMware Half Hour. Okay, so in this 30 minutes, we'll see whether or not we can be a bit quick with this one. I really wanted to address the Microsoft security blog announcement that seemed to cause an awful lot of chaos on July 29th, 2024. And I was going to do this video before, I was going to do it on the day, I was going to do it on the day after, but there was just so much in one word, really. What's the word I'm looking for? About this. You know, there were people on the attack on Broadcom, there are people on the attack from VMware, people attacking ESXi, not really understanding, I don't think, the actual issue at hand. Certainly, I think within the VMware vExpert program, you know, we all understand the relevance of it. It is now a CVE, and if you don't know what a CVE is, it's short for Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures. So it's now officially logged by Microsoft as CVE 2024-37085. This has now actually been addressed by Broadcom, so they have provided a fix for this vulnerability for 8.0, 7.0. I'm not sure about 6.7, but I'll drop some notes if it has been fixed for 6.7. And we're going to draw your attention to a couple of really good blogs, articles written by fellow vExperts. Christian Mon basically published on the 29th of July, VMware vSphere CVE 2024-37085, a nothing burger. That made me laugh. So thanks for that, Christian. Shout out to you there. And also Bob Planker's basically published on the 1st of August. And he went into a lot more depth than what Christian did. So I'm going to put those two links in the description. We have had a few questions come up on Experts Exchange about this as well. So I really actually basically want to address it. And somebody actually commented, I think it was VMIS on Twitter, that if a threat actor has already got keys to the castle, then game over. And really actually basically what this refers to, and that's just going to roll back, this particular functionality has been in ESXi since 5.1. And this is all about really a group, ESX admins group, which exists in Active Directory. So if you create an ESX admins group, ESX space admins group in Active Directory, and then you add your ESXi host to AD, then the ESX admins group is given root permissions to that ESXi host and all the users that are actually basically in it. So there's a couple of things here really that a threat actor has to have first of all, they have to have the root password for your ESXi hosts. They also have to have compromised AD in a way that they can create the ESX admins group. And they've also basically got an account that allows them to add the ESXi host to the domain. Or you've already got an ESXi admins group and you get compromised and your AD gets compromised. Your hosts are already part of AD, and then they can drop any account into that ESX admins group and they can log into your hosts as root. Now, it's interesting because this has been part of VMware vSphere install, configure and manage lab 2, and it's been in it. I've just gone back through my instructor documents here. It was definitely in versions 6.7, 7 and V8, and the V8 document was dated 28th November 2022, so it's still current. So if you're doing a VMware vSphere install, configure and manage V8, then lab 2 basically talks about adding the ESX admins group and ESXi admin user to the LDAP, Samba LDAP server in the console. You know, they're not using Microsoft AD for obvious reasons, licensing probably. They're actually basically using Linux and Samba basically to provide those AD functionality. But it's exactly the same. So I'm not sure really whether or not that people come back from doing VMware vSphere install, configure and manage V8, and they get to their production environment and they immediately think there's a fantastic idea to add ESXi hosts to Active Directory. No, it's not. I don't think it is. I don't think anybody today, with the cybersecurity incidents that we're seeing, that could potentially allow threat actors to move vertically or horizontally from a compromised AD to then basically be able to log into your hosts and cause chaos there. So what we're going to do in this lab, I've already got an ESXi host which is added to Active Directory. So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to log into that as root. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a user in AD as if I was a threat actor that had got access to AD with enough privileges to be able to just drop a user account in ESXi admins, and then we'll log into that. And then what we'll also do as well, I'm going to add one of my ESXi hosts to AD. Let's just pretend that I'm just adding an ESXi host to AD because I've just come back from my fantastic VMware vSphere install, configure and manage V8 course and think, yeah, this is a good idea. And I'm not aware, because of course there might be a completely different team that manage AD to you managing VMware. So you've got no idea of basically whether or not that the ESXi admin group even exists, and you've got no idea of who's in it. So we'll do that as well. Now, in this video, I'm not really going to show you the prerequisites as to how we add ESXi to AD. I'm not going to show you those prerequisites because I don't actually believe that really it's a very good idea, and I don't think any of my VMware vExpert colleagues thinks it's a very good idea anymore. But when we actually basically come on to looking at basically running through the VMware vSphere install, configure and manage exercises coming soon, then we'll cover it in lab 2, just so that we are basically running through exactly the same lab material as has been documented. As I said, I don't think that it's being removed at the moment. And the fix that Broadcom have offered in the actual update, all it does really is remove the default ESXi admins group from the configuration. So if you do add to Active Directory, then it's not going to use the ESXi admins group anymore. So without further ado, what I'm going to do, let's just, I'm going to create a duplicate session. So I'm going to log in as root. So this is an ESXi ARM host running ESXi 7.0. But it doesn't, as I said, it doesn't matter whether you're 6.7, 7.0, 8.0, 5.1, 5.5, 6, 6.5. This functionality exists in all of them unless you've actually patched it. So this is already domain joined. And if I run the permissions list, okay, then you can see there, the principal name there, EE-lab/ESX space admins, group, admin, full access rights. So any user that's currently in that group can have root access to this ESXi host. Now, I think I actually basically called this video how not to compromise your ESXi host, which I think realistically explains itself. Don't do this. Do not add your ESXi hosts to Active Directory. You know, organizations, I think for a while now, have been removing ESXi from AD, and now vCenter Server is being removed from Active Directory as well, so that there's an air gap between your ESXi hosts, vCenter Server, and your Active Directory environment. So I'm going to log in, he says. So this is just to show you that currently there's an account called Hacker and I just noticed there actually that I've got a typo there. It's E-lab. So I'm just doing an SSH to using the account Hacker. Obviously I know its password because I created it. So there you go. I'm now logged in using that account. So I'm just actually going to show, I'm going to create another account. I'm going to create another user account here. So I'm going to call it EE account. We'll call it EE Hacker. Just specify password. Okay, so I've just created another user called EE, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to drop it in to the okay, so we've got two accounts. So I basically just dropped in this EE account and I called it EE-Hacker. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's just to prove that this actually works, let's just log in via the so I called it EE-Hacker. Password, obviously I know what the password is. There you go. Root access to an ESXi host. So that was already a ESXi host that was added to Active Directory. So I suppose the exposure there is if your AD gets compromised by a threat actor, they are aware of the ESXi admins group, and if they've already got access to AD, then there's a good chance that they will have the ability to drop a user account in there. Once they've actually basically dropped the user account in there, they know what the user account is, they'll know what the password is because they've created the account, and that has been given carte blanche access to your ESXi host. So that's ESXi 001 that was already added to Active Directory. So if we just basically go to our second host, now I've already basically done all the prerequisites so this can easily be joined to Active Directory. And as I said to you, I'm not going to show you that because I don't actually think there's a good idea to be adding Active Directory, adding ESXi host to Active Directory, full stop. So the last command I really need to use is this one. Now this isn't going to work unless you actually basically set up the prerequisites. So this is just really sort of kind of going through the steps of, you could basically manage a VMware vSphere environment, you're managing a cluster of hosts, you don't really have any access to Active Directory, but somebody has actually basically given you a username and password that gives you the ability to add computers to the domain. That doesn't necessarily need to be a super user or a schema admin or a domain admin. And it might be quite a common account that you give to floor walkers that go around basically and remove Windows accounts and add Windows accounts back to AD. So, you know, we have one here that's basically called add to domain. And all it has the ability to do is to add accounts to domain. But as I said, you could be an ESXi administrator, VMware vSphere administrator, VMware admin administrator. You've been asked basically to add all your hosts to AD. You didn't provision the ESXi admin's account. You don't know what's in the ESXi admin's account. All you're going to do basically is just add this to AD. So hopefully I've already done the prerequisites for this. So basically it wants the password for the account to add to the domain. And hopefully if I got that right, success. Okay. So that's it, done. So as far as we're concerned, all is well. But if we go back, I'm just going to do cut paste here for simplicity. If we actually basically go back and I'm not going to do SSH this time. I'm just going to basically I'm going to log in as that hacker account. And the question is that going to give me root access? And wow, it does. That's what all the hoo-ha was about on the 29th of July. As reported by Microsoft, that basically is saying ransomware operators exploit ESXi hypervisor vulnerabilities for mass encryption. And they actually basically talk about this vulnerability analysis, creating the ESXi admins group, etc. So the takeaways from this, I will put these links in the description for you to read. My thanks to Christian, my thanks to Bob Plankers for basically creating some very thorough articles on this. And if you are a VMware administrator and you are managing a VMware administrator environment and Active Directory, then, you know, have a good look at these two links, and then actually have a think about whether or not that, you know, do you really actually basically want to integrate, add your ESXi host to Active Directory, and the same for vCenter Server as well. So I'll put these URLs in the description. I'll put the original URL in the description, and I'll find the, let's just Google this now. See whether or not that we actually basically get the Broadcom hit for it first. Yeah, Broadcom support. Okay, so I'll also basically put this, as I said, it is actually basically classed as a vulnerability now. So it's fixed in 7, it's fixed in 8, it's fixed in Cloud Foundation 5 and 4, but it doesn't actually basically mention that it's been fixed in 6.7. So, you know, guard your AD, remove the ESXi admins group, or create another group. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't really recommend doing any. Okay, so once again, my thanks to Christian and my thanks to Bob for making me think about this, and also basically for me to produce the content in this particular video. And if I do find out that VMware vSphere install, configure and manage v8, they've changed lab 2, I'll let you know. It did actually make me chuckle when I saw this on the 29th of July, because I immediately thought to myself, well, that's in lab 2 of VMware vSphere's install, configure and manage, which hopefully in a few weeks time, you know, we'll be going through some of the labs that are in the which are examined. Anyway, so I think we're coming up to about, I don't know, are we short of 30 minutes? 19 minutes. So we're about 19 minutes, 20 minutes in. Anyway, so thanks so much for watching this video, and come back soon for more videos in the Hancock's VMware half-hour series. So once again, all the best now and goodbye.